Hello and welcome to Chapter 88 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Clay. Clay, how are you doing this evening?
This evening's a lot better than where I was this morning. I'll tell you the truth, man. I was just telling you the plot of a movie called Falling Down with Michael Douglas, man. Oh, it was rough this morning. If anybody doesn't know about that movie, I think it is currently on Amazon. Go rent it, do whatever. Um, Boy, man, it is rough. I have a warehouse that is basically a double wide trailer, so it's very small and for some reason our heater stopped working. So for I think 5 out of the 8 hours of our day, I was working in a 44-degree warehouse without a jacket, without a heater, and then it dawned on me, oh, it's a lot warmer outside than it is inside. So I finally opened all of like the garage door, the main door, everything, and legit, the 55-degree weather shot up our warehouse temperature in like an hour. It was absolutely insane.
Well, I'm
But
trying to think what 44 is. I think it's like 6 degrees. It's been a long time since I've taken chemistry. That's what I was used to doing
I
the Fahrenheit to
don't ask
Celsius.
me don't ask me how to convert because right now at currently 8 o'clock my time, I am way too tired to even think about that.
I think it's 6 degrees, which,
Thankfully,
is.
thankfully, I've had conversations with my boss. I was very irritated at. We
We've
both got bad news today. That's one
looking
thing.
at an hour from telling the
Almost,
group.
yeah,
Almost, it
yeah.
was crazy. Yeah, stuff not really affecting me individually, but people I know. School's been a little intense getting back to it. A lot of accounting classes, a lot of nights doing stuff, depreciation, all that fun jazz. But Clay, we got some fun stuff to talk about, and only fun stuff to talk about. We have 3 episodes of a new show that is not DCCW. We
True.
have a new costume that has come out, and we have a new potential show from the
I,
DCCW that
I,
I.
I beg the question. If you see the banner down below on our YouTube channel, I say at the very end, can CW afford another DCCW show effectively? Not necessarily profit wise, because we know CW isn't making money, but can they afford to make this show and people actually care about it?
I think we've
You know,
seen at least 6 versions of this very show that we're going to talk about later, but
yeah.
we'll hold that for our, let's say, end of the episode roast. Before we get into the fun stuff, if they're already, S Pub says, if they're already in the negatives, might as well go all the way. Slash it, slash it. Anyway, I will do the network plugs, Clay, to get us onto the good stuff we have to talk about this evening. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network with 7 podcasts in total. On Mondays is World's Finest True Believers with Chris Balga. That's where Chris and a guest take a look at the comic of a guest's choice. This week, our friend Nathan is on there talking about Shattered Grid. I can't wait to listen to that. Well, the continuation of what he has been talking about with Chris. So go back and check out his old episodes that he talks about Rangers with Chris on World's Finest True Believers, and catch up on the most recent episode this week. That, ironically enough, rotates bi-weekly with Ranger Alliance with Clay and rotating guest hosts of Jake, Tony, and Joe. Joe just recorded an episode of Superhero Discussions with me uh, 2 hours before, or an hour before we started recording here. And it's a future episode, like 3 to 4 weeks. So it was fun. Sometimes we got mixed up, talking, especially in network plugs, talking about what was upcoming. So we just shelved that and said, no, can't talk about that. It's way too in the future. So just like absolute insanity there. But they look at everything Power Rangers, the shows. I hope they get to the movies before we get new content that they have to review, and comics. So check them out. They cover everything Rangers. On Tuesdays is this show, of course, DC Alliance with myself and Clay. Clay mentioned before we started to record that we basically have a month straight now coming of Batman talk, all Batman stuff, and we're really excited. I can't wait to see it. I saw a new TV spot today on YouTube Nothing, didn't reveal anything else new, I don't think, but I just love seeing it. Love the music, love the feel, love the tone. Just so excited for that. And Wednesdays is superhero discussions. We're in spectacular Spider-Man mode right now, but as I said to the listeners in the future on that episode, going to try to get a few people from GUA together to review Batman: Mask of the Phantasm before we do the Batman. So I'm hoping to get that. That's a favorite of mine and has not been reviewed yet. Also on Wednesdays, myself and Clay go live Wednesday nights talking about Superman and Lois, a show we both really love. We already did the premiere episode last week. We'll be back on to talk 202 this week. Oh, Clay, I just love good DC television.
Yeah, I mean, we did have some.
Some
I
qualms,
had
but
some qualms about it.
they were. I when you told them to me, they made sense, so I had to agree with them.
Yeah. So, but I'm still looking forward to a good season.
And was there a lightsaber fight, Clay, with speedster energy?
No,
No,
there was not. So
we're living the high life
for now,
for that.
I will always be pessimistic. I'm sorry. I'm always gonna doubt.
It's not wrong. You have some history now that you got to look back on, and I can't disagree with you. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance with Clay and Katie. They look at everything and anything Star Wars. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance with Chris and Brent. They look at everything and anything Marvel. On Saturdays is a walk through the multiverse. That's bi-weekly. That's where Joe takes a look at everything that isn't DC, Marvel, or Star Wars. And Slice of Film is currently on hiatus right now, but that's where Katie and a guest take a look at either a movie of the guest's choice or a new movie that's out right now. DC Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. Also, myself and Clay go live on the Geekverse YouTube channel on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, talking about Superman and Lois, and that drops in your podcast feed on Thursdays. And Marvel Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have all three of those shows also have their own podcast feeds. Search Marvel Alliance, DC Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance, and just get all Marvel, DC, or Star Wars. But if you want everything, stay subscribed to Geek Ultimate Alliance on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar. You like what we're doing. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras, your ad-free episodes, early access to episodes like you Patreon listeners that get a chance to listen to superhero discussions a week early. You're still getting that. There's content backed up, so you're going to be getting that for quite a while. And you get Patreon exclusives. We're going to have some fun stuff dropping this year, so check that out. Clay, that is everything.
Yes, it is. So I will say this is going to be a pretty positive show. I will say that I do have two negative things to say about two topics that we have to talk about today. One of them being the behind the scenes stuff that we're seeing on Batgirl. I have one negative thing. And then, of course, I will have to say just one small detail of Peacemaker was just kind of meh, but it's not super negative.
Listeners, I'm getting this reaction just as you are. He did not share anything with me. I didn't know if he was going to like it or hate it or have a lot of qualms or just one qualm.
I told you that I finished all 3 episodes, so
but
that should tell you something.
That it was better than The Flash Armageddon. So what really are you telling me here, Clay?
You brought up Flash Armageddon. And
I'm just saying you didn't finish it. You didn't finish it. That's why I just no, but that's why
I'm the smart one here.
I know. I'm just saying.
Finish it.
I'm just saying because you didn't finish it. All I know is that at least you think Peacemaker is better than that. That's because you did finish the 3 episodes of Peacemaker. So
true.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and jump into this sweet I'm just going to show this on screen for the YouTube channel. Of course, we are going to be talking about the Batgirl Suit. Now, this has people very divided. I like how we both immediately went to the side of our. So this suit has people divided, and I'm not entirely sure. Well, I am sure why. So here is the thing about this suit. We, as fans of the DC comic character Batgirl in New 52 started the series, of course, with the writer Gail Simone, and we got a very armor esque Batgirl. Okay. This is, of course, after the fact of her being paralyzed. She has a chip in her back. She's able to be Batgirl again. And she looks a lot older. Now, fast forward to, I think, somewhere in the middle of the issues of like 30 or 40, they move into this Batgirl suit called the Burnside suit, which is what this is based off right here. It is more quote unquote homemade. They made the character look a little younger, and it like screams like old school, like 70s Batman, like 60s, 70s Batgirl. And people just didn't like this. Now, when this has been revealed on, on Leslie Grace, I look at it and I say, that is literally from the comic. That is comic book accurate. That is something that I have been asking for when it comes to comics. Do I like the suit in the way that it was portrayed in the comics? I didn't read that run, but I came to learn, okay, this is what her suit is now. I can appreciate it. This is going to be a story of the origins of Batgirl. She's not going to have the Wayne money to get her a really nice Batgirl costume. And yes, there's people that are like, oh, I wish they went with the year one, the gray and the blue. That's not what they're going for. They're going for a costume that most recent readers know, especially like in the last 10 years. This is what people have known, this Burnside suit. And it looks great. I dig it. I dig the yellow. I dig the purple. The cowl is immaculate. I love it. What do you think?
I love it too, Clay. I think I have an answer as to why people hate it. People are assholes. Uh, they just want to be negative assholes because I really love this. And like you said, this is Batgirl starting out. This isn't Batgirl after coming into contact with Batman. This is a pre-Batman Batgirl.
Yeah.
This is her doing it on her own. If you like animation, like a host of superhero discussions, a animated podcast might, Harley Quinn animated show. This is not too far off of what we see Batgirl wearing. They're a little different, but same kind of idea of where she made it herself. Yeah. And it's already been teased out there that there's going to be a second suit, like you would imagine. Like it usually is for a lot of these heroes. First suit, then second suit. So I don't know why you would complain about it. It's like you said, this looks exactly like a run in the comics. If you don't like it, that's fine. But you can't say this isn't comic accurate. You can't say they're not like looking at a certain thing to adapt. And I love it. I just love how excited she is for this too, Clay. She's the one sharing this stuff on her social media. And one other thing, just props for getting out in front of this instead of what happened with Sasha Kaye, because they were going to start filming outside, and you knew what was going to happen. There were
Yeah,
going to be pictures.
and that's what I appreciate with this, because I was fully expecting us to get like a behind the back, shoulder, far away picture of the back of Leslie Grace's head with the cowl on. That's what I was fully expecting. Getting this and giving her the chance, Leslie Grace, to be the one that presented this. She did put it on her Instagram, and it made its way all over social media. I dig it. I absolutely love the idea of it. I really need an official photo for Sasha, though. Like, I still want one. But with this news of the new suit, of this brand new suit, we already have news that there will be a second suit in this film.
Yes.
I don't expect that second suit to happen until probably I would even say like a post credit.
Either that or end of the start of the final act battle. One of two, depends on how the story's
third act or the post credit, because I think they are proud of this suit.
I don't
You
know why
know,
you wouldn't be, Clay, because like we said, this is her doing this. This is not Bruce Wayne. Like, oh, you're going out fighting crime. Here's the suit for you. That like odd
I know,
design. No,
and I do think that that is going to be a really big thing with them putting up like Bruce Wayne is going to meet her, give the approval, and then you finally have the money for, or at least you have like the means to get a nicer suit, quote unquote nicer suit. Frank says the Harley Quinn show also shows this suit, and it's also in other cartoons. This suit is well known. Also, yes, it is,
yes,
and that is why they chose this suit. They're not going to choose the gray and blue suit from Batman the Animated Series. They're not
no,
going to
not
choose
like that. No,
they're not going to choose from the 2006 The Batman cartoon uh, costume either. They're going to choose one that people know, and this is what they know.
and also like to reflect a story of her on her own first,
Yeah,
which is what I enjoy. I like the. I'm a sucker. I don't think there's much in the way of Batgirl I didn't enjoy. Clay. I actually like the look of the one in Batman and Robin. I actually like the look of the one in. I'm trying to think of the other ones that we've seen this in now. I haven't. There isn't a bad Batgirl costume for me. I enjoy them all. I like the '60s camp one. I like the Birds of Prey one. We got very little of it, but I did. I thought that was fantastic looking.
yeah. No, I thought I saw somebody on Twitter say something like, "What is your favorite on-screen Batgirl costume?" And they all look nice. And to be completely honest, there's only one that is not comic book accurate, and that is the Batman Forever. Or
Yeah,
no,
Batman
is it
Robin.
Batman and Robin? That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Stroke
just.
says, "I don't know much about Batgirl, but this is the suit. I
I
know
know. Yeah.
the boots are great. I didn't even look at the boots to be completely honest with you. Hold on. Oh well, the boots aren't even on this photo. What
You
are you
got him,
talking
Frank.
about?
You got him,
Jesus
Frank.
Christ, you got
I
me.
didn't want to say anything. I was like, is he going to bring it up? Is he going to bring it up? He did. He did.
Oh, that's great. But alongside this photo, we've been getting a lot of behind the scenes photos as well. Some that have been making their way around are the magazine covers. So
Yes.
we've been seeing like the Gotham Plus, where we see Black Canary.
There's
We
another one with
see
Court of Owls, I think. I'm not 100%
yes,
sure on
there
that one.
there is. It's called the Tattler.
Yeah.
Gotham Tattler magazine uh, says something about the Court of Owls. So maybe it's like a hit piece, because the Court of Owls aren't really supposed to be known. So
Or
maybe
it
it's
could be
just
like
like
the Inquisitor, where it's like aliens have landed, like just weird
exactly,
random
exactly.
things. Yeah.
There is
Wait,
also one that talks about the events of BVS, that
yes.
talk about the Capitol bombing, Luther in jail. Of course, this is a new timeline, though.
Yes, all
Uh,
rays. I don't know what this must be like because of what happened in the Flash. This just must be leftover magazines from that world.
so very, very interesting there. We get the confirmation that Vicki Vale is a uh, investigative reporter in Gotham.
Yeah.
She has a quote on the Gotham Life magazine as well. And there was the mural that we were talking about last week with Batman and Robin. They have updated it and they made it ugly.
I was recording with Joe when this got dropped, and I had a little look of it, but
It
suffice to say,
looks so bad.
I'm going to wait until I see this in the movie now because we got excited for it, and now it's gone the other way. So I'm just
I
hoping because we don't
so
see Robin in this, so like maybe they waxed off on Robin, and
I'm gonna show you guys right now on the screen. That is ugly. That looks fake. That looks like it. That is supposed to be what it looks like in the film because it's supposed to look like Michael Keaton. That looks so much worse than what it did look like in the regular mural. They were like, "Oh, we need to make the likeness of Keaton."
I can't even see it. It looks, oh my god, it looks like Mr. Freeze had his.
Well, he
froze it, and then Cobra Kai spray painted it, and no, I'm just
well, like the thing here is it's just to show that like they had like the very cold, like it's supposed to be a snowy cold scene for the movie, and so they put out the icicles and everything else around it. But it looks like they photo like somehow, of course they probably like imprinted it or like freaking heat. I don't know the exact phrasing for it. If that's a painting of Michael Keaton, like good on them for being able to do it that well. But it just looks bad. I don't like Keaton's Batman.
yeah,
So
you're.
when I so when I saw the mural in the first place, I was like, "Holy shit, that Batman looks awesome!" And now I see it's this Batman. Like that's so disappointing.
I love this Batman, so I'm not. I can't be disappointed of it. I just so many times where I just watch those movies over and over again. Those two, compared to the other two ones. But I like I said, there's no Robin. I love people saying like this confirms that there's Robin. Like last week, and now it's there's no Robin anymore, and Batman
Well,
looks like he sucks now. And
I will say this: there has been wild reports of the casting for Robin actually being very, very near, which makes me think if he will actually appear in Batgirl, or are they just preparing to put him in something else? I think he will appear in here. I think it could very well be along the lines of like the story of meeting Batman, Batman saying, "No, I don't do that anymore. I did have a partner, it didn't go well," and like her bumping into Dick Grayson, and then him being like, "Yeah, we had a good thing at one point, but it didn't really end all that well." Because you always have the story, even in the comics, where Dick Grayson didn't want to be Robin anymore. He wanted to go do his own thing. And in some different reiterations of the story, and they've canonized it to be like a tongue-in-cheek thing between Dick Grayson and Batman, but it's been more of like a Batman runs him out of the cave, right? It's
yeah,
like, you know what? You don't want to be Robin anymore? Fine. I don't need a Robin. And he kind of pushes him away, but it's really to be like, hey, go do your own thing. You don't need to be Robin anymore. And that's why he takes on the persona of Nightwing. But I can kind of see it being like, hey, if you want to do this Batgirl thing, do it, but like, don't let Bruce run your life type of thing. Like, it could be a I give consent, but also a warning kind of thing. Like, I could see it happening that way. Uh, what does he say? He says Robin John Blake set to appear. I don't get that reference. What's John
from
Blake?
the Dark Knight Rises, it was that's
Oh Jesus
his terrible
Christ!
name.
No,
You should use your
no.
real name, Robin. What? What?
I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
What?
No, the rumored casting
Yeah.
is apparently um, Dylan O'Brien, which has been on top of everyone's list when it comes to fan castings, when it comes to like when Chris McKay was making the Nightwing movie way back when, people had Dylan O'Brien on their list
I
as
don't.
well.
Oh, the only I'm gonna be honest with you. The only thing I think I've ever watched him in is an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I've never even heard of that show.
Oh, that is one of the. If you don't like Seinfeld, you won't like
Well,
Curb.
I like Seinfeld.
Well, you would love
He's
Curb.
in
Curb
he's
is the
in
funniest show.
he's in of course the Maze Runner.
Yeah, I've
He's
heard of things that he's been in, but I have never had.
recently because I was doing like my I was going through my list of like all of the streaming services that I have, and I was like, okay, what can I watch that I haven't watched that's on Netflix? And American Assassin was on Netflix, so I watched that recently. As Pup says, he's the Maze Runner guy. That's what I know him from. And he was supposed to be like Maze Runner was supposed to have like this giant franchise worth of series, but
And
he got
jumping off,
injured.
yeah.
He got injured, and then they were never able to continue those movies. So, maybe him being in the DCEU will jumpstart his career again. And he goes off and does better things, and is in the DCU as Nightwing. That would be kind of cool.
I'd love to see Nightwing, but this also leads us into we had a trio casting announcements for Batgirl. No roles, just actors or actresses. Rebecca Front, Corey Johnson, and Ethan Kai have all been cast in the Batgirl this week as well. Just not giving us any information. I'm sorry, I suppose I don't want to laugh at that, but
Too much maze running.
too
Hey,
much.
it gets to you, man.
Gets confusing after a while. But a lot of news coming out about the Batgirl, Clay. I'm really excited about it, and it seems like it's. Do you think it's going to inevitable that it moves to theatrical?
I don't know yet. I don't
Because
know.
they had a big
And
growth.
people,
They had a big growth in HBO Max this year, so I can see why
they
keep it.
did. And then there's also been the argument, oh, well, if Blue Beetle gets a theatrical, Batgirl has to get a theatrical.
No,
I don't think so. And I totally get like people like, oh, well, she's gonna be the first like Bat family member that has like a main role in the Justice League that's a woman, and I think that's pretty awesome. Like, you need to really put her out there. I think that I'm afraid that if they are like go theatrical, they're gonna start putting their hands all over it, and
that's what I
they're
look
gonna start
for
doing
these
a lot
things.
more than just letting these people make this movie.
Yeah,
Let them make the movie. Here's I don't know how well this would work. Let them make the movie. Put the movie out on HBO Max first. See how well it goes. And then, hey, for a limited time, it goes on to theaters in this block.
I don't know if that would work. That would be unprecedented. But they did a day and date thing,
But
so
that's what I mean. Like they plan it out ahead. I'm not saying, hey, wait until you see the numbers for streaming. I'm saying, hey, go ahead and plan it
Oh,
out
I just meant
now.
in general that putting it to streaming first, then going to theatrical would be an unprecedented move. But they did do the day and date thing, which was an unprecedented move. So they could do that. That is an interesting idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I I just really don't want this movie to be muddled with or meddled with,
Yeah.
because everything that I'm seeing, other than you know Keaton Batman without white eyes or anything, is great. I am liking everything that I am seeing from Batgirl.
But if they do put it to just HBO Max, we don't have HBO Max here.
So Lola, as Bub says, do the Netflix thing. Give it a limited release at the same time or a
Or
week
early.
earlier.
Yeah. Well, that could work too. That's the same as day and date strategy they've been doing, but
Like Army of the Dead.
don't. No.
Snyder
No.
is
No.
the blueprint.
God, I
for
can't
everything.
stand that joke in our chat. That's so much, and it's like
It's
the dumbest
so
joke.
good.
The dumbest joke of all time.
It's so good. What
Just
was
like-
the other one that I did? Oh man.
Just not you. Everybody does it.
No, I know
you
that
start.
everybody does it.
You throws the meat in, and then everyone's like makes
But
the
there was
joke.
something that Chris said in our chat, and I was like, oh wait, that means Snyder is the blueprint. It was something stupid. I'll find it later. I'll
While
put
Clay,
it out on,
while
put
Clay
it out on
thinks,
DC Alliance.
while Clay tries to figure this out, we'll take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. Gonna give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Clay. I don't know if you figured that out in 10 seconds that took.
No, I
but
did not figure it out in that short amount of
that-
time. But
We're the shot.
that is really everything we have for the Batgirl behind the scenes stuff. Let's go ahead and move into the kind of meat and potatoes of this conversation, being Peacemaker. Peacemaker episodes 1, 2, and 3 dropped last Thursday, of course. I was able to watch the first episode that night or that evening, and then I watched the second episodes It may have been the same day, but I separated them. I didn't binge it all at once. So real quick, non-spoiler thoughts. What did you think of Peacemaker?
I really enjoyed this show, and I didn't think I was going to. I don't know if I've been beaten down from some of the things, live action DC TV things I've watched. It was nice as a fan of DC just to see really nice, like visuals, nice fight choreography, a big time star leading the show, or well, even looks like a big time star, fully committing to everything there, and the world. I just and the extra characters. I actually enjoy them. Some of the things they do, I would do. There's a scene I want to talk about with the guy that's judo master that's standing up there, where somebody else on the team does something, and I'm going to be honest, I totally do the exact same thing. I do the exact same dance. I will get to talk about it, but it's just funny moments like that. Sure, there's some things that don't work for me. There's some jokes that aren't that funny for me, but that was the same. That's the same in almost everything Gunn does. But like I said, you can look at this and see like this is higher quality than some of the television we're used to watching. Just the camera angles, the way everything's shot, and the fight choreography was fantastic in the first couple episodes. We haven't seen a lot of action, but what we did see was great, especially with Judo Master. And I just enjoy most of James Gunn's dialogue, and I'm a big fan of John Cena. I push for John Cena. I said it in the chat. I actually think he's a better actor than The Rock of the wrestling guys.
Ugh.
I see him. He got more range. Rock is just The Rock in these movies now. Kind of like Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds in a lot of the movies he's in.
I will say John Cena is still John Cena in every movie that he's in, though.
He's funny in a lot of things, and I never got I'm funny before from John Cena until he started doing movies.
No, I still think John Cena is still John Cena. They don't have range. So
I will disagree with John Cena. I think he does have range. I'm a fan of his acting comparative to how he started. If you go watch The Marine and then go watch what he's at right now, it's night and day.
I am not gonna watch.
No, obviously, Clay. Take my word for it. Just like take my
Travis,
word. Dragon Ball Evolution is terrible.
I watched The Marine in theaters.
Oh my god, that's like what I say when I say I watched Dragon Ball Evolution in theaters.
I saw that in theaters also, but I saw it for free because I was working in the theater, so I didn't have to pay for it. So that's the only good thing about it. So my Peacemaker can't change the hierarchy of the DC universe, so The Rock is still better.
I can't argue. That's science. That's scientific fact, I guess.
So I will say my spoiler-free thoughts on Peacemaker. It surprised me.
Will we be covering episodes going forward?
We will be covering episodes moving forward, one every week, of course. This was very, very.
There's only 7, right?
Yes. No.
Oh, that's awesome.
I keep getting this confused. Is it 7 or 8?
I thought
It's
was
one
7.
or the other. But either way, this show actually surprised me. The one thing I will say is episode 1 is not a great way to explain what this show can be. Episode 1 was not funny. There was times where I understand where you're trying to get funny, but there is really only one moment in that episode that I was like, "Oh shit!" And that was literally the last 2 minutes of the show. So we will talk about that. And I guess since we've already taken our ad break for this section, let's go ahead and jump into those spoilers.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
I ride for Eagly. I will take down any person that goes for Eagly. I can't get over how good the CGI for that eagle actually looks. Like, I was shocked compared to some of the other things I've seen on television before. When you go the route of animal sidekick and it's not an actual animal, I try to pay attention to it, and I didn't see a lot that was off with that Clay in the entire time. Like, it's not front and center all the time, but
S Bub says there's 8 episodes.
yes.
Um, I will say, not a huge fan of Eagly because it doesn't really do anything for me. Like, it could literally be a teddy bear in that exact same spot, and it would give the same amount of humor. Uh, I will say my hot take. I think her name is Danielle Brooks. I think
Yeah.
is the
Orange
actress's
is
name.
New Black.
Yes, she was in Orange is the New Black. My hot take for that actress is she is the Black Rebel Wilson. Her line delivery, uh, her sense of like humor, and the way that she acts is almost that equivalent to Rebel Wilson, which is from the Pitch
Did you
Perfect
watch
movies.
Orange is the New Black? You haven't watched Orange is the New Black,
No, I
have
did
you?
not.
Okay, yeah. Well, that statement will not. The, upon if you visit that, and Brent, who has watched this, is listening to this right now and going, because uh, she acts there. She does stuff in that series that Rebel Wilson's never done in her lifetime.
Well, no, I can understand. Like there may be other moments in this series that kind of show her
Yeah.
range of a character and her acting, but her the isms that she has, her mannerisms is I think the right word. Remind me a lot of Rebel Wilson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's where I was getting kind of that uh, comparison. So I do like her. I do think I will go ahead and say this. I think she is a relative of Amanda Waller.
Yeah, it's her. She's her daughter. It's said in the end of the first. It's said in the first episode.
Did it say it? I didn't.
Amanda says goodbye. No, she says goodbye, and then her wife looks at her and says, "Was that your mother?" And she says, "Yes."
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, she's Amanda Waller's daughter, which
Okay,
I
yeah.
love as a fan of DC movies and television. It's nice to see them intertwine. Actually, like and Amanda Waller be there. I know it's a Zoom call, like there's nothing to film, but still, I loved. I wasn't expecting to see her, and bam, to see her in the first episode. That was something I did really enjoy. Besides the final scene,
Well,
was seeing Amanda Waller.
the big thing with Amanda Waller's daughter, though, is her daughter in the comics technically is or was a Teen Titan. She played Skitter in the comics. That information is brought to you by Chris Balga. We talked about it briefly. Because sometime, I believe, within the New 52, there, of course, was Skitter and the Teen Titans. But in the Rebirth era, I'm pretty sure another family member of Waller was working for her or got intertwined with the work with the Suicide Squad. So I think they're kind of taking from that story as well. So again, comic book accuracy, I really dig it. So when it comes around, we're not gonna do beat for beat on these.
No, we're just gonna
We're just
talk
kind
about
of
some of our favorite
overall
moments, yeah.
thoughts. When it comes to this show, the humor I like. It got funnier as the episodes went on. Um, I don't know if I like Vigilante yet. He's a little much.
He can,
Which
yeah. He takes over. He like takes over scenes, and not in a scene stealer way, in more of a hey, look at me way.
yeah.
That
Well,
kind of
and
gets annoying sometimes.
one thing that we didn't mention last episode was the fact that James Gunn actually confirmed that he had a completely different actor for 5 whole episodes, scenes and all, filmed and all. And then that actor was like, "Hey, this isn't for me." And he's like, "Cool, let's get another person in here." Found this new guy, filmed all of his scenes. If you do like look at some of the scenes that he is in, he is kind of by himself. When he is without the mask.
Yeah.
When he does have the mask on, he does have other people around him a whole lot more.
I will
So
say that I don't think if it was that the guy wanted previous actor wanted a more serious take, I don't think that works with if he's best friends with Peacemaker. I
well,
don't
I
think any
was that
serious
the
sane.
reason?
I don't know. I'm just saying because if he said that they both didn't see eye to eye in the character,
Yeah.
then if he's taking him in this goofy route, maybe you don't like him that way. I just don't think like a Bloodsport, for example. Bloodsport can't be friends with Peacemaker because he knows Peacemaker in the end is absolute sociopath, insane person. So, but another insane sociopath person will not be like that. So I can see it if you go this goofy route, but sometimes, like you said, it can be a bit much.
Well, my question to you is James Gunn always, because he even said in the interview, this other actor, really good friend of mine, did not like the way the role was going. Do you have a guess to who it may have been?
Alan Tudyk.
I, for some reason, and he's not going to say unless he's, of course, given the okay to say it. It's going to be weird because of how much older he is. Michael Rosenbaum.
It could, you know what? Because he has a
I could
very distinctable voice under mask too. So you know
I
what?
could I could totally see Michael doing that role. As far as like not really liking the way the character was going, I don't know what that means for Vigilante in the later on episodes, but I do think as a writer himself, I think Michael would have some like, hey, I kind of want to do this with the character. You know, I could see them agreeing to disagree or disagreeing altogether.
I'm sure it's
Um,
probably out there who it was, or
I
I'm
would
sure
like to
people
know.
can sleuth
I,
their way. There's
I
way
would,
better
I would,
internet
I would
sleuths than
genuinely
you or
like to. You
I.
know what, S Bubs,
Yeah,
get on
get
it,
on it.
get on it.
Get on
Find
it,
me
S
that
Bubs.
answer. Find
Figure
me
it out.
that answer, S Bubs.
Or do you
But
already know? Because that could possibly that's a possibility as well.
like I said, I think I honestly would have loved Michael in that role. Just because the way this guy is playing it, I think it could have been really funny with Michael because I don't know if you've ever seen the show Impastor.
Yes, I have.
Holy shit. I'm
Very
so
funny.
angry that show got canceled.
Yes, but he
That
had a
show
basically he
is
had a meltdown. So
it's hilarious. I love that show.
yes,
Um but other than that, I was also informed by Chris Balga. We had a lot of conversations about like the small little pieces of this show. The butterflies was a little trippy for me whenever I saw it
same.
here. I was like, what the fuck?
But first, I
And
want to say too, Clay, before you get into the butterflies, it took really the third episode for things to get moving. Like I've heard a
yes,
lot of people say the
yes.
same thing. It kind of got me. The first two episodes, the characters got me, but by that point, I needed to see where you were going and what you were doing. And the butterfly thing worked. That final scene, like that worked for me. So yeah,
Well,
what did Balga say about the butterflies?
well, the butterflies, I was like, okay, is this a new character that he has created? Like, what is this? And then Chris reminded me of a story written by uh, Kurt Busiek. It's in Superman 2008's Superman 671, and I'll actually bring it up on the screen right now. It is the character that is going to be the main bad that looks it now Gunn of course could change it or whatnot, but this is the insect queen, and this is actually the way the characters look like in the comics, and kind of in the way that you saw them in this third episode, flying out of the dude's face. He kind of resembles this one right here to the side if if he had his wings out or whatever. So that totally makes sense. Um, the the butterflies were freaky. It was really weird. But I like weird. I like when Gunn does his weirdness, and it plays.
And he's
Uh,
known to deep pull like TDK, a couple of the
yeah,
others. So Chris, there you go. S Bubs it didn't take S Bubs 2 minutes.
Chris Conrad. What?
Boom, boom. You've been S Bubs.
No way.
Are
Oh
you
wait.
doubting?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think you're right. I think he is right because I am pretty sure Conrad was on the short list of actors that was actually like being seen. Like, hey, he has a role. And then there was a scene or there was an article saying that he had left the show for reasons unknown.
Well, we have that answer. Thank you, S Bubs, for that. Like you said, but the
You know who
butterflies.
Chris Conrad is, right? Like, and I know that may be a stupid question. Like, this picture right here will tell you immediately.
And he's gone. So Clay disappeared, listeners, to try and bring the picture of Chris Conrad. Oh, he's back again.
My finger slipped on my complicated mouse. So, Chris Conrad, this picture will tell you immediately who Chris Conrad is. Look, right here.
Oh my God.
Johnny Cage from freaking Mortal Kombat back in the 1990s. So, apologize for jumping out of there real quick. But
That deserved it. I would have been disappointed if I didn't hear that.
so I really like this show. I think it has potential to be better than what it is. As far as like, oh, this is the greatest opening you've ever seen, and you will not want to skip it. I've skipped it twice. I
Oh,
s-
never mind. He wasn't the original Johnny Cage. What are we doing here? You're bringing up Mortal Kombat Annihilation actors?
I said Annihilation.
Oh my God. No, we don't credit people for that monstrosity. He should be like, Clay, why did you mention
Mortal
that I was in this?
Mortal Kombat Annihilation is the same quality of
No,
movie of Mortal
no,
Kombat. Yes, it
no,
is. Yes, it is.
no,
Yes, it is.
no, no, no,
Yes,
no,
it is.
no, 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 no. There
Yes,
is
it is.
no person that will agree with that. Not one. I know that. I even put my foot down there. There's nowhere. It's not even in the same universe as bad. Annihilation was so bad, so bad.
Frank says Peacemaker is the Evergreen City, a Green Lantern city. The butterflies are alien invaders. Make
Make me.
make me think.
Well, I guess
Uh,
that's what he thinks.
Now, besides your
I have been blown away.
annihilation
I'm blown away.
nonsense,
I'm blown away. I can't wait to
nonsense.
post this into chat.
Besides that, I will say, as I said before, it has potential to be something really really fun. The opening scene or whatever, the opening credits, I watched it once. That was enough for me. It's super cringy and I think it's dumb. And everybody's like, "This is the greatest thing I think
I
I've
actually
ever seen."
enjoy it.
It's dumb. I'm sorry. Like I know people are like, "Oh, like I keep having to watch it every single time because I need to see like all of the dance moves and need to do this and that." Like I don't care. Like
I don't have the
honestly,
option of skipping it, but I'm actually enjoying it.
you don't have the
But
option to skip it.
no,
That sucks.
that's just the way it goes with Crave. But I actually do enjoy it because you're showing all. It's not just the main cast. You get a lot of like you get this police chief, well, the two police officers. Uh, it's Bubs just torment you some more. Watch the intro all 3 times, plus at least 10 times on YouTube. It's Bubs. I watched it more than 3 times. I will say that I've watched it a couple times on YouTube just because I'd like to see the other characters because he has put in like kind of like if you showed some of the random residents of WandaVision, it was kind of like that for me. Like we got some like the police chief that goes as Peacemaker's father. We got both of those partners. They're in there dancing. We had the old man dancing that lived next door to Peacemaker's father. That was funny to me. I was like, what? Like, okay, so will we get different people every episode?
Oh yeah, no. Peacemaker's dad, piece of shit.
Yes,
Like
yes.
straight up. Like
The Terminator. The Terminator. Sorry, Arnold. When I think of Terminator, I think of this guy because he was the scariest Terminator. He was the Terminator that haunted your nightmares. And here he's basically Hitler. And I'm not even exaggerating here. There is an ending of one of the episodes, or last time I saw him in this show, they're giving him the Zig Heil and calling him White Dragon.
what?
Yeah, like they're
The White Dragon.
yeah, the people in prisons, but they're going like, hey,
Yeah,
ho, hey, like
so-
Sig Heil, like the Nazi
Yeah,
salute.
I feel like I know what that character is, like what they're portraying, but I'm not 100% sure. I want to actually see it happen for me. I'm not confident to say Clay told you so. So I was just looking at Travis Snell put in our GOA chat that right now Peacemaker is debuting at #1 in the top 10 trending content of the HBO Max Latin America. And he brought up a really good point. He can't wait until the Samba numbers come in because I know it's going to cause some controversy. You know, it's going to debut higher than certain movies or certain TV shows, and
No one will look at the fact that they got 75 million subscribers now to HBO Max comparative to when other things come out. That stuff,
Yeah.
context doesn't matter with numbers, right, Clay? That's not what people are doing here.
but people just see numbers and they rage. That's all people do these days. But overall, really good show. We are going to be reviewing it every single week, but it will be, of course, later onto our normal shows, and we're not going to do a separate show like we're doing on Superman and Lois. So, with that, let's go ahead and take our final ad break.
Oh wow! Just one other thing. If they go where they may go with the Patrick, with the White Dragon, woo, woo, and they've kind of alluded to it with some of what he has said and what genuinely is kind of known at Peacemaker, like the janitor. This will be interesting. I had to look it up once you said. Yeah.
So we'll take our final ad break, and we will be right back. And we are back. So our final talking point. I don't know why
Cinderella, awesome band.
that's not our final talking point. Which was a really funny ongoing joke on that one episode, on episode 2 of Peacemaker, I will say. Our final I feel like we should just stop, other than Superman and Lois, I feel like we should just stop talking about CW. Like that's what I feel like.
Stargirl wasn't bad enough for me to throw it out. I can't.
I feel like season 3 is gonna show.
We got to see it before we can. I'm sorry, they didn't.
Guess.
You know they didn't do a bad enough job for get rid of us last season.
They were right there on
They
the
didn't.
final episode.
Maybe it was because we were reviewing other shows while we were reviewing that at the same time, and that got propped up because of it. Because that is a very real possibility when you're reviewing multiple episodes.
Yeah, that is true. But the final talking point is CW is making a new show called Justice U. This is going to be headlining David Ramsey, aka, of course, John Diggle, aka not Green Lantern, aka a waste of freaking space. He is going to be mentoring 5 metahumans that are going undercover in college for some reason. Reasons unknown. 1. Do you care about this?
Is there a 2 or 3, or are you going to come with him after I say this? Because
Uh,
hell no. It's no,
okay, that's
no,
the
no,
end of
no,
the
no, no,
conversation.
no, no,
That's
no,
the
no.
end of the
No, I don't
episode tonight.
understand. I don't understand. It don't make any sense. There's like
Like,
5
what?
different versions of this,
Yes,
including the X-Men.
there is, but I want to know what part of John Diggle's story got him to be at this moment. Like, what context clues has there been for me to be like, oh, this is the perfect time for him to be a leader of a metahuman team of superheroes?
Because he found a Green Lantern ring, and it was determined that he was not good enough to carry his own show, so he needed an ensemble cast. That's the only way he could function in the CW. And what did they do? Create an ensemble cast show for him, where he is like the dead mother.
It's
He went in 2 years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just gotta take a second. In 2 years, he went from finding that green box in that episode, everyone be like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? To directing and guest starring in some DCCW episodes to potentially tie in something crazy, to being, I don't even know what part he's playing in Jason David Frank's Power Rangers knockoff, to back to this. I don't even know. Like, you were supposed to be Green Lantern. That's no. Oh no, you're supposed to go
my
around.
CW Academia. That's Bubs.
I understand, Clay. I understand why they're doing this though, because you shared the TikTok with me, and I did make some points about kind of that thing where you hide your losses in these things. This may not look profitable, but it is. It is just a way to, like you say, it's not profitable, but you selling the Netflix rights alone would pay for the shows. So they do a lot of like trickery with the accounting. They're always fudging the books, so they don't have to pay people bonuses. Like, do people get back in of stuff? They get, if you get high enough ratings, they get cut of stuff. So it's like it's a very crappy thing that people like have to sue the studios for an awful lot just to get the money they're entitled to. So here they could be just creating another show, and if it gets created, it may even get a deal with Netflix, so there's another show to add on to your catalog when you sell it. So I understand why, but I understand why they're doing a show. I don't know why they're doing this show.
Yeah.
And this is not like a nobody asked for this, because folks, they got a hell of a lot of these shows. Hell, there's a show my girlfriend loves that came from the CW called Vampire Diaries. There's a character from that literally takes people that have the same, like, vampires and werewolves and all that shit, and teaches them in a school, and becomes essentially exactly what Diggle is becoming. Like, this is the exact same show from the exact same network. And now I'm gonna do it. They're doing it for the DCCW. I just feel bad for David Ramsey. That's really who I feel bad for. But he wanted to do the show. He didn't get. He wanted to do the Green Lantern show. They said no, and they gave him, here's some bones instead. Show up on Batwoman and tell Batwing that he got to step up. Show up on this show, Superman and Lois, and make no rhyme or reason of it, and we're not going to talk about it, even though this is the only connection to the rest of DCCW in the entire one season. Instead of showing Supergirl, instead of putting Supergirl on there, we're going to put Dave Ramsey on there as John Diggle, talking about having headaches and all this stuff that makes me absolutely meaningless now. Like, it's just like, oh, it's so terrible of an idea, Clay. It's just, I'm so glad we talked about all the good stuff at the start, because this is absolute horse shit. I didn't want to do this. I said to you when you told me this news, I said, I don't want to do this, but guarantee what's going to happen. It's going to be sucked out of me, because I just feel bad for David Ramsey. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I have
awakened the beast in Hines.
Put out another thing. Oh, I don't care anymore. I don't care. Like, you lie to me all the time. Lie to me repeatedly. What Legend's supposed to be again? Tell me, show me. Someone show me that first trailer for Legends.
So this has to be confirmation that he is not, in fact, going to be a Green Lantern in the HBO Max
Oh,
show.
he wouldn't let him step on the. He wouldn't let him step on the set, let alone be in like. He wouldn't let it be an extra. Like that's how bad they went. Like Clay, he went from being rumored to be in that show to being in Jason David Frank's knockoff Power, and he's the only other person I saw in there that I would know as an actor. Maybe there's another person, but I don't know. That's the only other person I thought like. Is it really that bad for you? Like, is this where it became? That you like, there's no way creatively you read the script of the Power Rangers madness and thought I'm going to sign up for that. Like, that's what there's a great story in there somewhere. You know, Jason David Frank, he made a great. No, you just took that for a role. So I feel bad for him. I don't. That show's not even getting picked up. For being honest with you, like this is just like a deal to put out, like to create a pilot, or this is very similar to me to Rosenbaum and Welling going to pitch an animated Smallville. Like they have no thing, only a pitch. Like this is a greenlit pilot. So let's calm down for a minute because I hope people when they see that go like, yeah, this was not a good idea. Because Clay, this and the Gotham Knights, like, what is being announced that I'm enjoying?
I don't know. Like this is why I asked. Like why would CW do this? Like again, don't get me wrong. I understand. Hey, we're gonna do this in order to make some back end money.
Yeah, we know this show. We understand making a new show. We understand that.
Yes, but like make it make sense. That's all I need is for somebody to make it make sense in the reasoning of like these shows as far as the DCCW have fallen from grace so hard. And I just don't know why they're like, hey, these are kind of like our Star Wars. And we could just like keep like beating a dead horse, you know?
Is
And,
it?
like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But
I'm the same here. It's just it doesn't make any sense why they would do this only to not the like we're saying not the fact of putting out a show that makes sense, but this show you had Green Arrow and the Canaries that was sounded a lot more. While I was iffy on that, that sounds like The Wire compared to what this is going to be. Like I know what this is because I watched my girlfriend watch this very show. Like I'm not joking with you. This very show, I think it may even still exist. I don't know. I think they might have canceled it, but it existed. It is in the CW catalog. They're like, you know what? This world's so big, we can do the exact same show here, and I bet no one will notice. Well, no, that's not true. And I will. I don't even know if I'll watch this. I probably will for David Ramsey's sake, but I don't see it getting to that stage. I don't.
I will never even attempt to turn this on. I will be honest with you. I can't.
Good luck, David Ramsey. Good luck. I don't think this is going to work out well. Thank goodness we have like I said. When you think about that, and then you think about Peacemaker, where we actually see Amanda Waller on screen, who was on movies, and I'm like, okay,
I'm gonna take a really harsh bet. Okay, it only makes it to pilot.
I'll go one more. It's not making it to pilot.
You don't think it's gonna make it?
No. If the backdoor pilot for Green Arrow and the Canaries didn't make it, this is not going to get a pilot.
Oh,
they weren't going to give the Green Arrow and Canaries a pilot only because it's in the episode and the main character's dead.
I will say this though. I will say this. Dave Ramsey has had a lot more appearances on the CW than the new Green Arrow chick. I can't remember her name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you are right about that. And he also signed a deal to direct more things as well. So they're just trying to keep him in the fold, but not to be Green Lantern. Even though they teased it. I just want to say one other thing.
Well, you know what?
Why would you tease that for the entirety of last season if you had no...
I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and jump into this before we end the show because I completely forgot. We should have done it in our Peacemaker segment, but S-Bubs had a question for us.
Oh yeah, let's hit it.
So, says question about Peacemaker. Do you think any characters from the Suicide Squad will appear, excluding Amanda Waller, of course, because she showed up? I'm thinking maybe since it's Sean Gunn. Well, he says he thinks Weasel will be uh, in the show because of Sean Gunn. Of course, James Gunn's his brother. I don't know how he would show up, but still, I think I have. Let's see. I think either Idris Alba, because technically he's out and about. He's not under the uh, influence, or at least we don't know yet if he has been recaptured. But because of the Suicide Squad movie, he is no longer under the influence of Amanda Waller. He's out and about. And of course, I think a lot of people love that chemistry.
Yeah.
And it'll make it go full circle as far as the story goes with how like he told Peacemaker told that story about him like getting shot to his dad, you know? And I think like that didn't end up very well.
Well,
The
it
way
made his
that
dad
conversation went.
laugh.
Yeah, but then immediately he's like, "Oh, don't tell me this piece of shit was the guy who shot you."
Shut.
And then Peacemaker got really quiet, you know. So
What happened was classified.
I think it's either Idris Elba's Deadshot or not Deadshot, freaking
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, or I'm gonna say. Do I want to? Because it was later confirmed. I would say Nathan Fillion, TDK.
Ew, if I were gonna guess, we already saw Waller. Bloodsport would be up there because he's already been referenced. Ratcatcher's already been referenced as well. But if I'm going to take a shot at in the dark, I'd go with the only person that's there that was actually in the movie and portrayed a member of the Suicide Squad that isn't Peacemaker. And that is King Shark because Steve Agee did the mocap for King Shark.
Oh,
And he also, I just want to give him a shout out because I would have done that if I beat Judo Master over the head with a tire iron. I would have done that whole dance doing the suck it and jumping back and forth. I just love that. And I know some people might say it went on forever. I loved it. I love him in everything. He's so funny to me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I feel like the answer is obvious. But are all the people Amanda Waller hired complete idiots?
Her that misses the badass chick is not incompetent at all.
No, she's not. But like,
Or the other guy who's in charge of the ops apparently killed a whole bunch of people before as a villain. So
yeah, but he walked towards an active explosive while he was pressing the button.
I know he stopped. He didn't press the button anymore. It wasn't working, but it took a long time for the single. Because he said like this hasn't been used at
I
the
thought
field.
he was dead. I
did too. I did too.
I was like, oh shit, he's dead. But of course, he actually just got the wind knocked out of him.
He gave a thumbs up.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, people. The guard of the Butterfly family, not the judo master, but the guard.
The bodyguard.
Is he from the show Psyched? Because I'm watching that right now.
I don't know. I never heard of that show before.
You've never heard of? Okay, that you need to watch it. It's hilarious. But I'm pretty sure he's like the rookie cop from Psych. So if anybody's out there, if you can confirm that for me, that would be awesome. But no, I do think Bloodsport is going to make an appearance.
I'll tell you one thing. Could they do a thing where they, the very last episode, the end credit scene sets up somebody else for their own run on the show, like a Suicide Squad member for their own run on the show, on their own show?
Ooh, I don't know if they'll do their own show because I've always said I think this show is a setup for the next Suicide Squad or possibly James Gunn's next project. But I think Bloodsport will show up. I think it's also been confirmed at the fact that every single episode had a test screening except for the last episode, because the last episode had a lot of things happen that didn't want to get spoiled.
Awesome. Can't
So
wait.
so when that last episode drops, it will in fact be like fresh for everyone. So that is very,
We'll
very
have
interesting.
half the show watched after this week.
That is true.
After which is very refreshing. I love the 3 drop just to get you going with the story, because I would have been a little disappointed if we talked about the first 2 episodes before the third. Like if we did this weekly, it would have to took me till the 3rd episode to really get into the story. I love the characters, but the story took a while to get moving, and I'm very excited for it. Thanks, Bob, for the question.
Yes, yes. And for anybody who is interested in having their questions answered, you can always submit them to myself, Heinz, the DC Alliance Twitter account, or of course, we do post about the show right before we air. So just drop your questions in there as well.
Or come
So
into the chat and throw them in there, and we'll read them
yeah,
out
we
there as
we
well.
we are more than willing to talk them out. So with that, guys, thank you so much for lasting this long. Of course, we will be back, of course, on Wednesday night live. The show will be put on your podcaster of choice on Thursdays to review the episode 2 of Superman and Lois season 2. And then, of course, we will be back here on Monday for episode 4 of Peacemaker.
Woo!
So
Later, everyone.
see you guys later.